Okay, let's unpack this. I mean, for so long now, the biggest myth in nutrition,
Mm.
the one that keeps millions of people feeling, stuck, has been this idea that eating well is just inherently expensive.
Mm.
That unless you're shelling out big money for organic this and premium that, you're just priced out of wellness.
And that's the belief, that really entrenched belief,
Yeah.
that our source material today it completely attacked. It's called The Newest Dollar Tree Diet 2026 by thedietdocs.com. And they label that whole myth the great health hoax. This isn't just another diet book. They're trying to start what they call a $1.25 diet revolution.
Hmm.
We're talking over 300 proven recipes using only stuff you can get at a dollar store.
Right. And when you see claims that big, you immediately look for the proof.
Mhm.
And the testimonials they share are, I mean, they're genuinely compelling. They feel like proof that something really groundbreaking is going on here. Like, take the Life Changer story.
Yeah.
This is a person who cut their weekly grocery bill from over $150
Which is pretty standard for a lot of people.
down to just $30, an 80% cut in spending.
Right.
And at the same time, they lost 18 pounds in 6 weeks.
And it's not just the weight loss either. That's what's so interesting. You see this whole health turnaround in another one, the one they call Doctor is Amazed. So in 3 months, this person drops 31 pounds, but listen to this. Their cholesterol plummeted by 60 points. Their blood pressure normalized. I mean, these are huge medical improvements, and they did it while saving 70% on groceries. Can you just imagine the doctor's face when they found out it was all from Dollar Tree ingredients?
And that's what makes it so brilliant, I think. It's the inclusion. It's not for some niche group. You have the college student approved story. Someone who went from, living on cheap pizza and energy drinks to making actual nutritious meals with these budget ingredients. They had energy for class, and this is key. They had money left over for textbooks.
And that is exactly why we're here today. Our mission is to do a deep dive into this resource. We're going to try and extract all the practical, the affordable, the revolutionary little nuggets that prove good health is a human right, not some financial privilege. We're going to analyze why this is such a game changer for people who have always been priced out.
Let's start with the philosophy, because the diet docs, they really don't pull any punches here. They go right after what they see as this elitist attitude in the wellness world. That subtle or sometimes not so subtle message that if you don't have good money, well, your health just isn't a priority. They see it as a systemic barrier, one that's designed to make people feel guilty about their own budget.
And what's fascinating is how they just dismantle that idea, the whole expense equals quality thing. Their counter argument is so simple, so direct. It's just protein is protein, nutrients are nutrients, results are results.
But wait a minute, let's challenge that for a second. That's a really bold statement. The source material says, and I'm quoting here, that your body, quote, does not care if the protein came from a $15 grass-fed heritage breed, unicorn-blessed chicken breast, or a $1.25 can of chicken from Dollar Tree.
Right.
So if that's scientifically true, if the protein molecules are basically the same, why does the system charge us $15?
That's an excellent point. And, the $15 chicken, you're paying for sourcing, organic certifications, texture, maybe variety, and all of those things, they absolutely contribute to the culinary enjoyment of a meal, but not necessarily to the basic biological function of getting macronutrients into your body. The source basically admits that, look, you might sacrifice some flavor or texture with budget canned items, but the nutritional outcome for weight loss and basic health, that is still achievable. It's all about function over luxury.
And the whole thing started with a simple idea. The $25 challenge. This is where it gets really interesting. It wasn't just some theory.
Oh, not at all. It was a real experiment. They wanted to see if they could physically create a week's worth of nutritious meals, not just filler food, using only Dollar Tree ingredients and sticking to a $25 budget. And it worked. The people in the experiment, they reported soaring energy, their clothes were getting looser, their moods were better, and that was the foundational proof. That was what showed this concept had massive potential.
Which brings us right back to who this is for. This is what makes it brilliant. It's for the single mom working 2 jobs, the college student on ramen, the retiree on a fixed income. I mean, these are people who sometimes have to make an impossible choice between medication and nutrition. This book says you don't have to make that choice anymore. It reframes resourcefulness as, a source of pride, not guilt.
And to do that, they lay out 4 core principles for this diet. The first one is completely non-negotiable. Affordability first. Every single ingredient, every recommendation has to be $1.25 or less. If it costs more, it's off the list.
Right, and that first principle directly leads to the second one, which is nutrient density. This is where the strategy really comes in. You're not just hunting for cheap calories. You're looking for the food that gives you the most bang for your buck, the most protein, fiber, and micronutrients for every dollar you spend.
The third principle is strategic shopping. This is so crucial. It means you don't just wander in and impulse shop. You check the weekly flyers, even Dollar Tree has variations in stock, and you plan your meals before you go into the store. It ensures every single dollar is spent on something that's part of a plan.
And then there's the fourth principle, supplemental shopping. I think this is important context. They're not saying you have to live a purist, Dollar Tree-only lifestyle forever. When your budget allows it, they actually encourage you to mix these high-value staples with fresh produce from, say, a farmer's market or the clearance rack at the grocery store, just to fill in any nutritional gaps.
So let's make this concrete. What does this actually look like in the aisles? The book gives really clear, actionable examples. For proteins, they highlight canned tuna. Always get the kind in water. Canned chicken and all kinds of canned beans. Black, pinto, kidney, and of course, peanut butter. That's a powerhouse for protein and fat. They even mention you can find brand name stuff sometimes, like Goya chickpeas for that low price.
And for your carbs, for that slow-burning energy, they focus on things like oatmeal, brown rice if you can find it, whole grain pasta, and corn tortillas. Those give you the fiber you need to feel full. Healthy fats, well, that's mostly coming from the peanut butter. But you can sometimes find small bottles of cooking oils, like olive or coconut oil. And nuts and seeds, though they say the stock on those can be pretty variable. It's pretty impressive how much they cover with just those staples. But I have to push back here, because this is where I think most people get skeptical, and for good reason. Can you really get enough micronutrients, the vitamins and minerals you get from fresh, expensive produce from a diet that's so heavy on canned goods? That just feels like a massive potential gap.
It's a completely fair question, a necessary one. And the book tackles it head on. They admit it's the biggest challenge. They focus on resourcefulness and mitigation. So at Dollar Tree, they look for things like canned vegetables, especially the darker greens or mixed veggies, and shelf-stable milk alternatives. Oh, and frozen mixed vegetables and berries are a huge win when they're in stock because freezing locks in all that nutrition.
But the real strategy to fix that gap isn't just about what's in the can, is it?
Exactly. The source really stresses two things. First, the fiber you get from the oatmeal and the beans is essential. It's great for your digestive health. It keeps you full, and that's a major victory on a budget diet. And second, they strongly recommend that if your access to fresh produce is always going to be limited, you should prioritize buying a basic multivitamin. It's a really low-cost, high-impact way to plug those common nutritional gaps.
So if the staples are the foundation, then the 300 food combinations in the book, they're like the blueprints. They're there to fight off diet boredom, which, is the thing that kills every restrictive eating plan.
Yeah.
And they organize them into categories like power-packed breakfast, satisfying lunch dinner, smart snacks, even guilt-free desserts.
And the whole key is making simple ingredients feel like a real meal. For instance, a breakfast could just be oatmeal mixed with some canned peaches and a spoonful of peanut butter for that extra protein and fat. Or sardine toast, it sounds so humble, just whole grain bread, sardines, and a little hot sauce, but you're getting massive protein and healthy fats.
And they even manage to deliver comfort food. That's so important for making it sustainable. Like the tuna noodle casserole.
Yeah.
It just uses the canned tuna, whole grain pasta, and a can of cream of mushroom soup. It's using those staples to make something warm and filling that feels like a reward, not like you're depriving yourself.
Yeah, but using these budget staples, especially the canned stuff, means your prep is absolutely paramount. The book gives these crucial tips that, if you ignore them, could actually undermine your health goals.
Okay, the most valuable tip in the entire book, in my opinion, deals with the sodium. I mean, the sodium in canned goods can be huge. They call it the sodium solution. And the book confirms that just by rinsing canned vegetables and beans under running water before you cook them, you can reduce the sodium by up to 40%.
40%, just from rinsing.
It's incredible. That one simple prep step is maybe the most valuable health tip in the whole resource. Why is that not common knowledge?
I think it's often overlooked because convenience is usually the top priority. But for this audience, where canned foods are essential, that rinsing step is critical for keeping your blood pressure healthy. The other essential tip they hammer home is you have to become an expert label reader.
Right, and they turn it into a game of spotting red flags. You're looking for things to avoid, like partially hydrogenated oils, that's a sign of trans fats, or high fructose corn syrup as one of the main ingredients. And you want to keep sodium under 400 milligrams a serving, and always choose fruit canned in juice, not in syrup.
And all of that leads into their final big tip, your prep strategy. For someone working 2 jobs, time is their most valuable resource. So batch cooking isn't a suggestion, it's a necessity. The book stresses, cook a big batch of rice or beans or oatmeal on a Sunday. It saves so much time and what they call decision fatigue during the week. It just makes being consistent so much easier.
And the book's scope, it goes beyond just what you eat. It includes a complete zero-equipment exercise program. This is another spot where the book just shines with ingenuity because it gets rid of that idea that you need an expensive gym membership or fancy gear to get fit.
It totally integrates fitness into a budget lifestyle. The program is broken into 2 parts, and it only uses your body weight and improvised household items. For anyone focused on muscle gain, they recommend things you'd expect, like push-ups, wall sits, tricep dips. But then they teach you how to use common items for resistance.
Like the water bottle shoulder press, just using standard 1-liter bottles, or farmer's walks, where you're literally just carrying heavy jugs of water or laundry detergent to build your strength. You're improvising your own ways for free.
And for those who are focused more on fat loss, the plan is all about high-intensity cardio that needs zero space and zero equipment. They lay out HIIT circuits, high-intensity interval training, things like jumping jacks, high knees, and interval-based Tabata training. The whole philosophy is maximizing calorie burn per minute with zero financial barrier. Just simple movements like bodyweight squats and mountain climbers.
So the whole plan, the food and the fitness, it all anchors back to this one fundamental truth that they cover in the FAQ section, which is that weight loss is just about a sustainable calorie balance. They encourage you to aim for a safe, consistent 1 to 2 pounds a week. The goal is always consistency, not perfection. This thing is designed to be lived, not just followed for a little while.
And bringing this all together, what the diet docs are really proving here is a foundational point. Your financial constraints do not have to limit your ability to transform your health. The most powerful tools you actually need, creativity, planning, commitment, courage, those are free. They're universally accessible.
So what does this all mean? The source material, it absolutely validates its core idea. You can find nutritious, effective ingredients for your health for $1.25 at a time. The brilliance is in teaching people how to navigate the system they're already in, instead of expecting them to somehow overhaul their finances first.
And the book suggests tracking your progress not just with the scale, but with measurements and photos. It highlights that non-physical progress, like more energy or a better mood. So if this diet restores health to people who thought it was financially out of reach for them, what non-financial measure of wealth or health capital, be it control, confidence, freedom from guilt, does this approach give back to people? It's something worth mulling over.
We'll catch you next time for another deep dive into the sources.